So Greg first came here to Bethel about 10 years ago and was here for a little while, about 5 years. And then we didn't see you as much. Pick up the story there, brother.
Well, we had been here and we'd been just really tied in, loving the family loving on us. And then, some things got in the way. Lily was chosen to be on a travel team for softball. And, that takes up a lot of time. They're about 3 weekends a month. And, you get out there and you get to hanging out with the softball family. And you kind of lose focus and, you get a little separated and you're hanging around with the wrong family too much and getting away from the right family. And then, after that, then here comes COVID along and I was working and Veronica, she was working in the COVID unit there at Baptist Hospital, and my co-workers at the tax office were scared to death of me. They thought I was going to kill them. So I was not allowed in the building and when anybody else was there. So I was having to go in and do my work. Well, that just opened up way too much time for me, and the stress and the being overwhelmed by all this stuff, I turned to the wrong source, and instead of taking it to Daddy, like I should have been doing all along, I let the fear and the overwhelming and the anxiety, all this stuff just take over, and I didn't turn to the right source. And so fast forward, I was sitting in my garage useless to anyone. I had let the addictions come back into my life to a point to where I was useless to me and to everybody around me. Veronica, I feel so sorry for her and Lily, the people that had to deal with me on a daily basis. And then finally, it came to a point to where I was so miserable, so far away from God, so far away from everything that I cherished in my life, that I had a brother right here and my wife. They got their heads together. And then he got to talking to Dr. Hager. They found it, Then they came to me. She came to me finally, and she was like, look, something's got to give here. After 34 years, she looked at me and she's like, if you don't straighten up, I'm gone. Wait a minute. You've never lost trust in me. What's going on here? But then I looked at her and I said, what took so long? What took so long? I feel like I've been screaming for help. She's like, well, you're speaking a language I don't understand. But I was like, sure, I'll go. So then, they got me hooked up with the Isaiah house there in Willisburg, but I was at the chaplain facility. And in 30 days to break that cycle, and to get back into the fellowship, every morning going to the Bible, going to having the services, just being in the flow, it got my mind back to where, and then after that, we start coming back here and the family just loves on me like I've never left. It's amazing to me, and let me tell you, just a joy that I thought I would never, ever find again in my heart, in my life. I never thought I would ever have this joy again. And let me tell you something, I would not trade this joy for anything in the world now that God has given back to me. Anything, never, ever do I ever want to walk that path again, ever. And I know that there's people in this room right now that are struggling, just like I was then. You're losing your joy. You've either lost it or it's so far from you that you don't know where it's at. You don't know where it's at. You don't know where you're going. Let me tell you, there's help out there for you. There's people in this house right here, in this family, that are willing and able to lead you in the right direction, to help you out, to just hold you up when you can't hold yourself up. And I just challenge you right now just to reach out. If you feel it, just reach out, because God is the only way. I read this morning in John chapter 15, when he says, I am the vine and you are the branches, abide in me and I will abide in you. And and it comes down, and right at the end of that, it says, if you don't abide in me, you will be able to do nothing. And I'm living proof of that right here today. Without him in my life, without him being first, without making him Lord of all, I can do nothing.